Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so excited that you are here. Give me a wave. Hi. So many beautiful, familiar faces. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here and invest in yourself and think about, making changes in your world that's going to hopefully make things easier, both in your business life and in your home life as well. Tonight, we are talking about my 5-step framework for identifying and overcoming burnout in business. So many of us know how to, keep ourselves on track in terms of our physical, emotional, mental well-being. But when it comes to our business, we throw our hands in the air. What do we do? What happens when we've lost our mojo? What happens when we're just feeling a bit, when we've lost that passion? Perhaps it's that we're spending so much time working in our business that we don't have time to work on our business. Perhaps it's that we're attracting customers to us that are draining us, that are completely wearing us out. Whatever it is that's sending you to this point, and perhaps you're not there yet. And if you're not, then that is awesome, because tonight is about both identifying and overcoming. So we're trying to prevent you getting to a point where you just want to throw your hands in the air and throw in the towel. And full disclosure, I go through phases like this in my business all the time. So there are times when I'm firing on all cylinders and cannot wait to innovate new ideas and to try new things and to really get stuck into it. And there are times when I feel like, whose idea was this? Whose idea was this? And I sit and I fantasize, because I hear that some people have these things called jobs where you just go and work and someone pays you to be there, which is like, oh, imagine. And then I, get over that phase and I, realize why I chose entrepreneurship and why I chose to have my own business instead of going and having a job. And trust me, my reasons for entrepreneurship far outweigh the reasons that I want to go and get a job. But if you're here, then maybe you've felt some of those feelings too. And I just wanted you to know that you're in a safe space. You're in a space that I can very much identify with, and that I've been at all stages. And that's why I decided to talk about it tonight. But I'd like to start by acknowledging that I'm recording tonight's session. So if you're watching at home, thank you so much. Or if you're here live, even better. I'm recording tonight on Biripi land, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. I'm so excited to get stuck into tonight's content. So are you working hard all the time, but not necessarily seeing the difference in your bottom line? Because you're here, can I get a show of hands? I'm going to turn your cameras off in a second because it's better for the recording. But for now, give me a show of hands if any of these resonate with you. Do you feel like the last couple of years have been pretty hard, and that this year has, also been a bit of a struggle? And if you're wondering when, all of this hard work is going to pay off, why you can't see the results from all of your hard work, are you asking yourself when it's going to get better or when it's going to get easier? And if you are saying yes to one or some of these things, then the chances are that you're starting to burn out when it comes to your business. And today, my aim is to get you back on track. So this is my 5-step framework. I hope you have your notepads out and ready. I hope you're excited to get stuck into the content. It is something for me that has been something that I've been thinking about a lot. And it's been something that's come up with lots of my coaching clients. So when it comes up over and over again, it's really important that I listen to that. And that's the kind of where I get my motivation for the different webinars that I'm going to present. And today is no different. So number one, let's get stuck straight into the hard stuff. I've just fed my kids dinner. Oh, speaking of, hello, Henry. I've just fed the kids dinner, and one of the things that they had to start with was their broccoli and their carrot and their corn, and they were complaining about why they needed to eat their broccoli and their carrot and their corn. And I feel like systems and processes in our business are just like veggies on the plate, on the plates that we feed our children. We know it's important. We know we have to do it, but sometimes it's a bit of a struggle. And tonight in my house, it definitely was a struggle, as was putting on pajamas, evidently. So the systems and processes in your business are incredibly important, and they are the things that will keep you running, just like the broccoli does, keep you running in your best form. So thinking about the systems and processes in your business, for so many people, especially the coaching clients that come to me, they roll their eyes and they say, yes, I know I need better systems in my business. I know I need my processes written down. And hopefully you're in a position where your systems and processes are on track, where you know what's going on in your business, where you have a pretty good take on what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. But I would really love it if you could get yourself and your business to a position where it could run without you, that somebody could step in and get things done and absolutely get it running without you. Can you go downstairs to Daddy for me? Thanks, babe. And so I want you to think about the systems and processes you have in place now, if any, because for so many people running their own business, they like to put off putting down their systems and processes. If you're looking for a good book when it comes to systems and processes, Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz is a must read. It's just absolutely the tool you need if you're hoping to dive into the systems and processes pond. So systems are the key to freedom. And so many people resist it because they think, you know, everything's going well right now. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. I'm solving problems as they come at me. I'm putting out fires and everything is fine. Brene Brown likes to talk about systems just in the same way that she talks about boundaries. So systems in your business are the handrails that you can hold on to as you're walking across this like very unsteady bridge that is entrepreneurship. So as you're tackling the challenges that come to you in your business, if you have your systems and processes in place, it's just like you have the handrails as you're walking across the rickety bridge that's over the ravine. So grab your notepad and pen. Let's just get started by doing a little bit of a brainstorm of what you need to do. So perhaps there are things in your business that only you know about, that only you understand, because it's been your role for so long, or perhaps you're the only one to do it. Perhaps you're the only person that knows how it's done. And this is going to be an issue if one day you can't turn up to work, and we don't know what the future holds. So it's really important, especially if we want to start delegating, and we're going to talk about that later. If we want to start delegating, then we want to make sure that we have systems in order to be able to hand off to other people to be able to execute for us. So write down the systems that you would need in your business. Perhaps there are those jobs that only you know how to do. Perhaps there are things that used to get done by someone else, but perhaps that person left and now you're kind of looking to fill that void. Perhaps you don't even know how to do it yourself, and you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, I've been avoiding that and sticking my head in the sand, but, you know, eventually the end of the financial year is going to come, or the end of the calendar year, or somebody's birthday, or there's going to be an event that's going to force you to have to learn what is involved with that particular task or that particular role. So some systems are going to be massive. Some systems are a bit smaller. If you don't have a system for how the phone is answered in your business, for example, this is important to be able to get down so that consistency is going to happen in your business. Consistency is so important when growing our business. So you want to make sure that every time the phone rings and the phone is answered, no matter who answers it, that it's the same, everyone's going to get the same experience. So that's an example of a system that's going to take you less than 5 minutes to create. Have a think about those systems that you know are going to take you more than 5 minutes. And these are the ones that we put off. So this is not how to clean the toilet 101. This is perhaps how we're invoicing our customers. Perhaps this is how we're putting together a Facebook ads campaign. Perhaps this is how a job is done. So if you have a really practical business where you're performing a service for somebody that actually takes, you know, expertise and nuance from some experts in your business that are performing that, that's a system that needs to be written down, because if those people disappear, you've got to find somebody who can take that on. So writing those systems down and just doing a brain dump. I hope that while I'm talking, you're writing. I can see some of you furiously writing stuff down. Hopefully you can start to give yourself an idea of what needs doing in your business and how you're going to attack it. And we're going to prioritize in a second, because of course there are so many different systems and processes that you could be writing down right now in your business. And depending on your business, they're all going to be different. But what does this have to do with burnout? And what does this have to do with how we're going to get ourselves, you know, out of this feeling of I'm not coping, this is not okay? Systemizing your business is going to be the perfect way for you to be able to step out of your business and have a holiday, step out of your business and take a few days off, step out of your business and be able to delegate tasks to somebody else. These things cannot happen unless there are systems in place to make sure that the things that need to keep rolling are going to keep rolling even in your absence. So if you are wanting to free up more time for yourself, if you are thinking that you are starting to be burnt out because you're not taking care of yourself, perhaps you're feeling like you don't have a lot of time. You're running out of time. That, you know, 1 week finishes and the next week starts, and all of a sudden you're on the roller coaster again, and you don't quite know how you got there. If you have systems in your business and everything is running consistently and like clockwork, then you will be able to take time away. You'll be able to take time for yourself. You'll be able to have a slow week. You know, in my business, there are so many weeks that are really full on. They're moving, they're going, that and this is one of those weeks. In the Simply Stacey Morgan Media business, of course, we're talking all things Thrive. At Port Macquarie Performing Arts and Danae Cantwell School of Dance, we have a competition this week. So it's go, 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 go. But then next week is going to be a slow week. And so in those slow weeks, I actually had the ability to be able to take a step back, to be able to take a breath, and to be less involved with the business. But the only reason I can do that is because my systems and processes are up to date. So hopefully you have a list in front of you, because I've been talking for long enough for you to scribble it down. Let's have a think about those systems that we have, that we want to create, the ones that are going to take less than 5 minutes, those ones that are going to take more than 5 minutes, and let's talk about them. So let's have a look at the list that's above the line, and perhaps you drew a little cross like is demonstrated here on my slide, or perhaps you just wrote it on 2 different sides of the paper, the page in front of you, or you wrote it on 2 different pieces of paper. Grab that list of things that you need to create that's going to take less than 5 minutes. Perhaps it's answering the phone, perhaps it's cleaning the toilet, perhaps it's how to check the mailbox. These things that someone needs to know how to do those things. If those things don't happen, you know, it's not going to be good. But, you know, they're not things that you've written down, or not things that you've really systemized, because you just keep thinking, well, everyone knows how to answer the phone. Newsflash, they don't. And perhaps not in the way that you would like it. I am giggling because sometimes the phone rings in my business and I'm in the middle of a conversation with someone, and everybody will just sit and listen to it like it's a lovely tune that's playing in the background. And I'll like cut off my conversation to run and get the phone. But that's an expectation that I needed to communicate to my team, that when the phone is ringing, whether or not you're normally the person that answers the phone, if the phone is ringing and nobody is moving, like somebody needs to get up and get the phone. So that's something I had to systemize. What are those things in your business that are going to take less than 5 minutes for you to create a system for? And let's prioritize. What are the top 5? You might have a list of 16 things in front of you. What are going to be the ones that are going to be most important? What are those ones that you're going to write and you're going to go, oh, yes, that's going to make a difference in my business? And, you know, it might not be glamorous, might not be sexy. Cleaning the toilets, you know, that's not the reason that we started our own business. Let's be honest. We wanted to clean the toilets all the time, but it needs to be done. So if that's on your list, then make it a priority. If it doesn't get done, you'll know about it. So put those down in a list of 1 to 5. Now let's talk about those systems that are going to take more than 5 minutes. These are the ones that have been on our to-do list forever. These are the ones that when I said systems and processes, number 1, you went, oh, it's because of that's lingering in the back of your mind. When it comes to these systems that need a little bit more time, I can procrastinate like the next person. Like I can put things off. I can put things off, and I'm sure you can too. But what helps me to get things done is a deadline, first and foremost, and then a reward. So I want you to look at that big list of things that you have to create in terms of your systems that are going to take you more than 5 minutes. And I want you to create your top 5, choose your top 5. What are the 5 ones that have been niggling for you for the longest? What are those 5 things that are most important in your business? If invoicing is on your list, then it's got to go as number 1 or 2, possibly 3, but probably 1 or 2. You know, cash is king in our businesses. We need to get paid. So the invoices need to get sent out. So who's doing it? What's the system that it's involving? And then have a think about when you're going to get that done by. Is it by Easter? We've got a great deadline coming up. Like the Easter long weekend is the ultimate deadline, because who wants to work over those 4 days? Not me. So that's a really good deadline that you've got there in front of you. Perhaps if you know you're not going to get it done by Easter, then perhaps you want to take some time over the 4 days off that you have over Easter, and you want to do it then, because you know that you're going to have the time to do it. Set yourself a deadline before Easter, after Easter, end of the financial year, whatever it works for you in terms of that system. And then the game changer, a reward. How are you going to reward yourself when you get that done? Sometimes these big systems can make you feel so much lighter when they're finally done, because you've put them off for so long. I want you to have that feeling. I want you to be able to go, oh, that feels good. And then the important thing is with systems is that you communicate those systems to your team and to all the stakeholders involved. Don't just write the system, save it in the systems folder on your PC and then move on for the day. Get it out, make it a practical working document, change it when it needs changing, share it with your team, make sure that everybody understands what needs to be done and when. This is Susan Judd. Susan is a Thrive alumni, and Susan, when she was in Thrive, really wanted to expand her team. She really wanted to grow her team. She had a fabulous team of her and Roz. They were a powerhouse. They still are. But she really wanted to extend her team and really wanted to grow her business. And she was getting really, really busy and really struggling to be able to hold on to all of the different balls that she was juggling in the air. And so for Susan, systemizing her business and being able to make sure that she had clear systems and processes in place was a great way that she was able to then go and scale her business. And with the tools that she learned from Thrive and with that determination to get stuck in and write these systems, she was able to really get hold of them, really make sure that everything was nice and clear, so that when she went out to market to get new people to bring onto her team, which she has now her team is thriving, then those people knew what they had to do in terms of their roles and in terms of the expectation, because the systems and processes were there to back it up. So please know that these systems and processes have a really practical sense in your business and a really practical way of moving your business forward if growth is what you're after. So the takeaway for number one is just start with one. Just choose one. Choose the most annoying one or choose the quickest one. Maybe do the quickest one, get some momentum, and then go on to the big tough one that you've been putting off. Use a reward to motivate yourself. And then if you need to ask for help, ask for help. Nothing scares me more than sitting in front of a blank page, a white piece of paper. Ugh. So perhaps these systems already exist. If you're talking about the answering the phone system or the cleaning the toilet system or perhaps doing the invoice system, these systems already exist somewhere online. Do some Googling. Do a little bit of research. Ask for help. Perhaps you've got a friend who's also got a business. They need to clean their toilets too. What does their system look like? Reach out and ask for help, because most importantly, you just need to get it done. So whatever works for you to get yourself there. Number two, productivity and delegation. Hands up if you want to be more productive. Hands up if being productive and, making sure that you've got all of your ducks in a row is important to you. Right? So yeah, thank you. The arms are waving. I love that. And that is something I hear all the time. And can I just say that if you are here, if you are already in a position where you're running your own business and you are investing in yourself and investing your time, you're already pretty darn productive. So give yourself a pat on the back and cut yourself some slack, because the fact that you are organized enough to be here and that you've got this business running and it's paying you and you've got bills coming in and invoices going out, you're doing a good job. Tweaking your productivity is where you're going to get that little bit of extra time. And when we're talking about burnout and talking about getting ourselves into a position where we're really feeling just completely kind of about our business and really kind of drained when it comes to the day-to-day running of our business, if we can find that little bit of extra time to bring back to ourselves, then it's going to revive us, then it's going to refresh us, then it's going to mean that we're going to be in such a better position to serve our customers, to serve our team, and to get out of this business what we hope to get out of it in the first place when we started our business, which I'm sure was not to be, working 16 out of the 24 hours every day. When it comes to delegating, delegation is so much easier if you have number one in place. If your systems and processes are there, then delegation is so much easier. And for so many of us running our own business, we feel really awkward about delegating tasks in our life to other people. I know, when I hear this, and some of you are really good at it, and all praise to you. But some of us feel really uncomfortable. Some of us are not used to asking for help. Some of us have been quite happy being the person doing all the things. And that's what we've learned, and that's what we've done for so long that it's really hard to get out of that habit. But if you want to be able to run your business and you want to be able to get the most out of your business, you want to be able to do the things in your business that you love and work in the areas that you love and keep that fire alive, that passion for why you started your business in the first place, then you cannot be everything to everybody. You cannot be doing all of the things. You must learn to be able to relinquish a little bit of that control, hand some of that over, and be okay with the results. So let's start off by talking about your zone of genius. So are you working within your zone of genius in your business? And it's okay if you're not, and it's okay if you're going, what now? What are you talking about? There are some things in our business that we love doing. There are some things in our business that we're really good at doing. You've got a notepad and paper, write down a few things that you can think of right now, those things that you love and those things that you're good at. Sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes we're really good at stuff that we don't like doing, and that's okay too. And sometimes we really like doing stuff that we're hopeless at. But in our businesses, in order to keep that passion alive, in order to keep that fire going, in order to not get ourselves to a point where we're going to be burnt out and want to throw our hands in the air and give it all in, we've got to find a way to work within our zone of genius. We've got to make the most of the time that we have. We've got to make the most of the skills that we have. So are you wasting time being busy but not productive? Are you spending some of your time doing things that need to get done in the business, but don't necessarily need to be done by you? I give you the example of the birthday cards. We give out birthday cards at Port Macquarie Performing Arts, and every month, if your child has a birthday, they should, in theory, if the systems and processes are working correctly in my business, get a birthday card that says, happy birthday from everybody at Port Macquarie Performing Arts. We hope you have a great day. I love it because who gets mail that's exciting anymore? Nobody. So the kids really love it when they get a piece of mail that is just for them. But as the principal of the organization, as the founder, as the CEO, if I was going to spend all of my time writing the birthday cards, and there are, 40 birthday cards a month that need to go out, if I'm going to be busy writing those, then that's going to take up a lot of my time every month. And those things are important in my business, but what could I do with that time in order to innovate in my business and move my business forward? Because I tell you what, it's not doing the birthday cards. Yes, that's really good for customer nurturing. Yes, that's really good for retention. But at the end of the day, I'm not the person that needs to be doing that. My zone of genius does not exist in the birthday card realm. But I do have a fantastic 16-year-old dance student who comes to me twice a week and works 6 hours a week for me. And one of her favorite tasks is to write the birthday cards. And so for the moment, that's her zone of genius. And my zone of genius is doing other things that are going to help move the business forward. So I want to ask you, are you currently working in your zone of genius? Are you currently doing things that move the business forward that you're really good at? Or are you just getting up every day, attacking a really massive to-do list and just getting stuff done, but not really thinking about, am I the best person to be doing this? Because I'm not the best person to be writing the birthday cards. That's somebody else. But perhaps there are things that you're doing in your business because you've always done them, because you can't be bothered to write the system to tell somebody else how to do it. You think even if you did write the system and get somebody else to do it, they wouldn't do it as well as you anyway. So why bother? Are these things you're telling yourself? Are these sentences that you've heard before, perhaps from other people or perhaps in the back of your mind? It's really important to understand what our zone of genius is and then to be able to get out of doing all of the tasks that need to be done that are not within that zone. So are there things on your to-do list that somebody else could handle for you? Right now, off the top of your head, what is it that you've been doing? What is it that you've got on your list that you're like, I don't need to be doing that anymore? It could be cleaning the toilets. It could be writing the birthday cards. What is it on your list? And how much is your time worth? Now, I know what I pay a dance teacher to be in the studio and teaching, and I know what I pay the birthday card writing person. And those two amounts are very different. So if I can take the 5 hours I would spend writing the birthday cards and I can go into the studio and I can teach 5 hours worth of classes, that's my zone of genius. That's where I'm my best self. Can you see how I'm saving money by being in the studio where my time is really valuable, where I can really do my very best work? And I'm saving money by getting somebody else to do it. Yes, I'm paying her, and I'm paying her very well for the task that she's doing and the age that she is according to the award, but it's not as much as I get paid to be in the classroom. So I want you to think about the tasks that you have in front of you. And if you were going to pay somebody else to do it, would you be paying them less than what you should be paying as your hourly rate to be working in your zone of genius? And if you don't know your hourly rate, that's very much something we can work out together, because it is such a game changer when it comes to decision making. For me, I got frustrated writing the birthday cards. If I had to write one more birthday card, and I did in the early days, I was the birthday card writer, but the business has evolved, and that's okay. Businesses evolve and change. That's exactly why you're here. You want to grow and learn. There were other things I was doing in my business as well that I was not happy to delegate. I was doing all of my accounts, not because I was good at maths or not because I enjoyed it. I definitely did not enjoy it, but I thought I was the best person for it. that, or I was just too much of a tight ass to pay my accountant, there's no way I should have been doing that in my business. Yeah, not my zone of genius. I end up having to pay my accountant triple the amount because she had to undo all of my terrible work that I had done, all the things that I'd stuffed up. So find a way to get yourself out of those moments that make you feel like this, that make you feel frustrated, because it's going to make a big difference to your bottom line at the end of the day and your mental health as well. So let's think about outsourcing. Let's think about the things that we should, I shouldn't say should, but think about the things that we could be outsourcing to other people within our business. So are there elements of your business where research and data collection needs to happen? And does that need to be you? Are you in charge of your inbox, and do you need to be in charge of your inbox? Is there somebody else that could be in charge of your inbox? Is there somebody in terms of your administration that could be in charge of your inbox? Can you get a virtual assistant that's going to be in charge of managing your inbox? That doesn't have to be you. What about document management and organization? I used to spend hours organizing Google folders. No, not my zone of genius. Can somebody else do that in your business? My calendar management and my organization. If you meet with me at any time, you know that I have no idea when that's happening. In fact, I wake up in the morning, I have no idea what's happening in my day. It's because I haven't organized it. My EA, who's Christy, who's fantastic, she got you all here tonight and she got you watching the replay. And so my calendar is organized by her, and she's so much better at it than me. I used to turn up late to things and miss things, and I'd get a phone call from the dentist saying, "Where are you?" And I'd say, "Oh, I'm on my way." When I'd forgotten completely. So get somebody else to be managing your calendar if that is something that stresses you out. Your travel arrangements. I used to be I just held my travel arrangements so close to my chest. Like I'm the only person that could possibly go on Webjet and check the different prices of the different flights that I want to take on the different days. Now I absolutely outsource that. Customer service emails. If you have automated sequences that you can put in place, that you can have written by somebody else, that you can add your tone to and add your flair and part of your values from your business to, and then get them sent out, go ahead and do it. If you have to compile reports that perhaps have to get information from several different people, are you the person that's doing the compilation, or are you just the person that checks it off at the end? Perhaps you need help transcribing audio or video. That is something that can be automated now. There's machines, there's AI that does that. You don't need to be sitting down and doing that. What about the taking and preparing of meeting notes and minutes from meetings? We have lots of meetings when it comes to running our businesses. Are you the person that's in charge of that? Hopefully not. Personal errands. This is one of my favorite things to outsource. When I had Lucinda, one of my teachers was looking for a bit of extra work. And so on a Thursday morning, she would come to my house and I'd give her a shopping list, and she'd go and buy the things that I just couldn't get to the shops to buy because I had a very small toddler who did not like sitting in the pram. And that was, such a hard task for me. Yet, this young sprightly teacher of mine was more than happy to pop off to Coles and get all the things that were on the list, and then they would just magically appear in my house, and it was so great. Do you have personal errands that other people can be running for you? Perhaps people that are already up and about, people that are already going to be in town or going to Coles, for example. What about your social media posting and management? So many of my coaching clients hold this very close to their chest. People couldn't possibly post on Facebook or social media. Those of you who are on the call, I know who you are. I couldn't possibly give that to somebody else. I couldn't possibly hand that off. They won't know my tone. They won't know what is acceptable. They will make spelling mistakes. And we've all been there. We've all outsourced things and had terrible experiences because, people posted things that we wouldn't have posted. But it is something that you can outsource with the right amount of systems and processes around it, so that the expectations are set very clearly from the beginning. What about editing and proofreading? Perhaps you do a newsletter every week. Is it you that compiles that and then edits it and then proofreads it and then checks it and then double checks it and then triple checks it? And how long is this taking? That used to be me, but not anymore. Now I just give it a once over before it goes out. And sometimes I don't even get to do that. And, the world keeps turning. What about at home? What are some of the things that you can outsource at home? Because this was the biggest game changer for me in terms of my outsourcing. I was more than happy to outsource things in my team. I had a virtual assistant. I had people all around the world doing different aspects, editing podcasts and uploading things for me, doing social media. But at home, I'd never thought to outsource. And when I got somebody else to come in and do my cleaning and bought myself back 2 hours a week, game changer. When I got somebody else to take my ironing out and go and do the ironing so I didn't have to, Game changer. When I started ordering my grocery shopping online and got it delivered to my house, game changer. Some other things that you can outsource as well that will give you a little bit more time is somebody else picking the kids up from school. If you can access some kind of school pickup service, whatever works for you, call your mother-in-law, the friend from up the road, perhaps you pick up the kids on the Tuesday and they pick up the kids on the Thursday. I just can't stand that 2:45 panic because all of a sudden my day is over. My work day is over. And if you just have a little bit more time, perhaps they don't finish their activity until, 4:30 and you just have that little bit more time. Imagine what you could do to grow your business in that little bit of time. Or perhaps what you could do for yourself in order to avoid getting to a point where you are completely burnt out and just absolutely had it with your business. What about tutoring? We spend a lot of time sitting at the dining room table going over spelling words and going over times tables with our children. Sometimes I think that would be best outsourced, and best not only for my mental health, but also for the kids as well and for my relationship with my kids. Outsourcing tutoring. You heard it here first. The lunches. I don't do this, but I could do this. In fact, I'd love to do this, outsourcing the lunches. Picking up packages from Australia Post, how much time does that take when we have to drive to TNT and then we have to drive to Toll and then we have to drive to the post office to get all of the things that we purchased when we were online shopping the other night? Paying bills and shopping for kids' birthday presents. Shopping for kids' birthday presents. If that is not a business waiting to happen, you let them know that you've got a birthday party. It's on the Saturday. They buy the present, wrap it, and bring it to you. And then you just go. Just saying, that would be game changing. So have a think about the things that you could outsource in your world that would make a big difference for you. When it comes to productivity, as I said, if you're here, if you're organized, if you got yourself here and you are running a successful business, then you are already ahead of the game when it comes to productivity. But two things that you can do to tweak that productivity to really get the most out of your time is really get consistent with your to-do list. This is my to-do list. I'm sure you've seen it several times before. I love to flash it around. If you want your own copy, you can scan the QR code and get one sent to you. You can get it printed out and then get it binded. You can make a little booklet out of it. You can make your own journal, whatever you want to do with it. But that is what I use. That is my system. And when I'm not using that system, I'm a mess. If I'm trying to use the new notebook, post-it note, notes in my phone system, chaos. Things get lost, things don't get done, and I'm not my most productive self. So when it comes to to-do lists, there's not one best app, there's not one best notebook, there's not one best system. It's whatever works for you, as long as you lean into that system and use it. When you start using 5 different systems at once, that's when you're not being productive. So figure out a to-do system that works for you. The same with a calendar. Figure out the way that you're going to be able to write down what you've got coming up. I use Google Calendar because it helps for me. The 2 things I love about it is, 1, it's color coded. So I can look at my day. And if I've got a mix of colors, I know it's going to be a good day because I'm doing lots of different things. The second thing I love about it is that it goes ding and reminds me when I need to be somewhere. Woo! It's the best. I love it. So whatever works for you. If you want to use a paper diary, if you want to have a planner, if you want to be the person that goes every September to the favorite stationery store and buys the new diary, then, I love you for that. But choose a system, lean into the system, and make sure you're using the system, because if you work the system, it'll work for you. This is Vicky Morris. Vicky runs Sprockets. Vicky used to hold very close to her chest the social media in her business. And she would spend, so she would have classes all morning, and then she would spend all afternoon posting all of the socials. And my office is near her office. So I used to walk past her office at 2:00 in the afternoon, just before I started teaching my classes, and say, "Are you still posting on social media?" Thrive was something that Vicky did in 2021. She was one of our 2021 graduates of Thrive. And one of the things that we worked really hard on is outsourcing and relinquishing that control, being able to say, okay, this is something I've always done in my business. I can still do it. I'm very, I can absolutely still do it myself. However, my time is more valuable in different places. And in Vicky's case, she loved to innovate. She loved new programs. She loved creating new things. And we created lots of new things as part of her time that she spent in Thrive. But she wasn't having time to innovate because she was so busy doing all of the posting and doing all of the updating when it came to her social media. So being able to give some of that away so that she could focus on innovating in her business was a really big game changer for her. So the tangible takeaway for you, just start with one thing. Just think about one thing that you're going to do, either tidying up your to-do list, getting your calendar sorted, or outsourcing one thing. Maybe you're going to outsource your ironing. Maybe you're going to outsource kids pick up one day a week. That would make a massive difference. Maybe you're going to outsource the tutoring, the house cleaner, or you're going to buy the groceries online. Choose something to do, write down what you're going to do, put it on your list, and then reward yourself when you get it done. Sound good? All righty. Number 3 is coaching and accountability. I know when I am starting to feel burnt out that I need to learn some more things. If I am not learning, the business is not growing, I'm not growing personally, that's when I start to feel fatigued. That's when I start to feel like, is this all worth it? That's when it really kind of gets to me. This is a picture of me with Ree Gold. He's one of my mentors. This is at the 2018 Dance Life Teacher Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. It was like 45 degrees, but like 3 of the most fabulous days of my life. I learned so much, but also I loved being able to get out of my comfort zone. Like Phoenix, Arizona, why would I ever go to Phoenix otherwise? But it was so wonderful to see a new place and meet new people and experience new things and sit by the pool in 45-degree heat. But when it was the middle of winter here in Australia, so it was actually quite refreshing. And that for me is something that absolutely fills me up and absolutely lights me up. And there are several different ways that you can approach coaching and accountability. But accountability is really the game changer when it comes to you achieving your goals in business. For so many of us, we have these goals, we have these dreams. I want to make this amount of money. I want to have this amount of customers. I want to have this many days off. You know, our goals are there. We have them in the back of our mind. Perhaps we've got them written down somewhere. Perhaps we've done a goal setting session and we've got them in a notepad, you know, in the bottom drawer. They're there, they exist. But without accountability, it's really hard to be able to follow through with them. It's really hard to be able to get to the other side. The success rate of goal setting jumps from 65% to 85% if you've got somebody holding you accountable, if you've got somebody there. And that first 65%, you know, we can do that on motivation and passion and enthusiasm. But if you really want to get across the line, then getting somebody to help you, to hold your hand, to walk alongside you is really, really important. And you can do that in several different ways. And I had a great time just diving into my the photos on my phone to have a look at the various different ways that I do professional development or have done professional development in the past. And so I do group coaching that it all happens online. I do group coaching that happens in person. I do team coaching. That's a fabulous photo at the bottom in the center of my team. I do a lot of professional development with my team. And when I'm creating their professional development 3-day retreat, I learn so much because of the research that I'm doing and the things that I'm going to be teaching them. I learn so much from teaching. So that really works for me. I love going to conferences. I love going to watch other people speak. I love watching panels. I love watching keynotes. I love hearing other people's ideas and seeing how they all come together. The top corner is the very first session I had with the Entourage. That was an investment that I made back in 2018. And at the time, it was a massive, massive investment. It was a membership program that was over $1,000 a month. That had one-on-one, face-to-face time, 2 days a month. I had to travel to Sydney. I'd catch the midnight train because I was trying to save money because I was paying so much for the investment. So I'd catch the train down. I'd get myself, you know, all zhuzhed up in the morning and head in and do a full day of learning, stay overnight and see a show in the city, do another day of learning, and then fly home at the end of it. And I can tell you those years that I was in that membership program were the biggest years of growth in my business, easily. I could run my numbers for you now, and you can actually see on my profit and loss the years in which I invested in professional development and the years that I didn't, because you see it on my bottom line. You actually see it in my revenue as well. You can see the growth that happens in the business when I'm doing the investing. So the Entourage was one of the biggest lessons that was the biggest lesson I got from investing in that program. When I was really leaning in hard, I got big, big results. And the bottom photo where Kai's in a tux and I'm in a fancy dress was the business awards. Investing in the business awards and investing in doing your business awards submission gives you the opportunity to learn so much about your business. And for those of you who are in the Port Macquarie area, the business awards entries are closing very soon. So you want to make sure that you're on top of your business awards submissions, because learning from your business awards submissions is a really good way to know more about your business and to be able to grow your business as well. And if you're very lucky, then you get flown down to Sydney for the State Business Awards. And that's where Kai and I were giddy and happy and excited about the prospect of being at the State Business Awards. So no matter what professional development and coaching you're doing, lean into something, lean into what it is that you're doing. Perhaps you do things that are out of town. Perhaps you do things that are online. Perhaps you do online programs. Perhaps you're doing group coaching. Perhaps you're doing something one-on-one. But know that if you're not investing in professional development, if you're not investing in growing yourself, and obviously you are because you're here tonight, and so snaps for you, or you're watching the replay at home, then, reward yourself for really stepping into that zone, because it's not easy. It's not easy to put your hand up and say, I need to learn more and I want to know more, but you can be guaranteed that when you do, you are definitely going to see a big difference when it comes to the growth of your business. This is Jade. I can use Jade as the example. Jade did Thrive in 2021, and Thrive was the very first professional development she invested in for her business. She's a photographer, and her photography business is Little Glimpses. She's my husband's cousin's wife, so she's related. And so that was the reason that I went to her and said, you've got this fabulous business and I think you could do more with it. And what she got from that experience was not only a better insight on the way in which to run her business. She already takes gorgeous photos, so working in her business is not a problem for Jade, but the working on her business was something that she struggled with. And so enrolling in Thrive gave her the opportunity to delve into professional development. And she's now gone on to do different other professional development activities that have helped grow her business as well. But Thrive was kind of her first jumping off point for that. And she found the program and the things that she then took on in her business really, really valuable. So the tangible takeaway was find one way to invest in yourself this year. Do it now. Try and get it in before the end of the financial year. Of course, anything that you invest in is a tax write-off. Of course, your business can pay for it and you can claim it through your tax. So it's well and truly worthwhile. And you will see the difference when it comes to your P&L, when it comes to the amount of money in your bank account, if you are investing in yourself and investing in your business. Number 4, speaking of investing, pricing and cash flow. Wouldn't we all like to have more money coming in the door when it comes to our business? And sometimes the reason we get to burnout and the reason we start feeling so about our businesses is because we're not making any money, because we're working really, really hard. And then we have a look in the bank account and there's no money there. And we've all been like that in different stages in our business. And I know that I definitely have. And those times, it's really, really important to be able to go back and have a look and delve into your numbers and to what is going on within your business. Now, I've told this story several times, so those, forgive me if you already know it, but I spent a lot of time in the early days in my business sticking my head in the sand. I spent a lot of time, even though I was doing all of my own accounting. I say that very loosely because I don't know what I was doing. I was hopeless. But I really had no idea and didn't want to have any idea what was going on in my business in terms of the finances, because I thought that if I knew, then it would be terrifying, because probably I wasn't running a very good business. So it was just easier just to stick my head in the sand and just hope for the best. And if at the end of the week there was money there to pay the staff, then happy days. If I paid myself, good. I mostly didn't. And, I was running on passion and excitement that entire time. But what I've learned in all of the years that I've been in business now, and what I learned from working with so many of my coaching clients, is that feeling is really common. So if that's the way that you are feeling, then please don't stress, you are not alone. But it is important to understand where the money is coming in and going out in your business, because cash is king. You can't make decisions if you don't know what's going on. So I want you to think about the pricing in your business and what you are charging. Because if you're in a product-based business, it's really important that your pricing just doesn't take into consideration like what you're buying and then what you're selling. You've got to think about the fluctuating wholesale prices. And at this time, during this time especially, it's really, really important to factor that in. It's important to factor in your employee expenses. It's important to factor in how much rent you're paying, whether that's going up. Of course, your power is going up. All our power is going up. Your water, all of the other expenses that happen to come along with your business. The marketing and advertising, I feel like that just keeps getting more expensive as well. And thinking about also what your competitors are doing. There's no use me sitting here and saying you should put up your prices. If you're going to be charging 5 times what your customers are going to be charging, then you're going to be out of luck, because people are going to, no matter how much they resonate with the values of your business, they're probably going to walk down the road. If you're running a service-based business, Your pricing needs to take into consideration your experience and your time, your qualifications and your expertise. It's not just about my hourly rate. It's about all of the work that I've done to get myself to here. And you really need to factor that in when it comes to your business. You've got to think about your employee expenses as well. And the same as a product-based business, the rent, power and water, marketing and advertising and what your competitors are doing, but also all the extra stuff that doesn't happen when the client is in the room. So many coaching clients that I start working with, they charge an hourly rate for the time that is in the room. But actually, the preparation they do before that person comes into the room and then all of the extra work they do afterwards means that they're actually spending a whole lot more time on it than just the hour that they're face-to-face with the customer. You want to make sure that your pricing includes all of the time that you're spending working on whatever it is that you're delivering for your customers or clients. So when was the last time that you put up your prices? And I say this not because I want you to go and, boost everything up, double everything, double it up. Absolutely not, because even just the thought of putting your prices up 10 cents terrifies some people. Changing your prices at all for so many small business owners that I work with, and some people that have enrolled in Thrive in the early days would come to me and say, so this is what I charge and I couldn't possibly change it because this is what I've always charged and what will people say? Or, this is what they've been quoted and so this is what it has to be. And so I want you to think about the expenses that you have in your business. We talked about several of them before for both product and service-based businesses, but have a think about all the expenses that you have and how much they have increased over the last little while, because it's only natural, it's only logical that your prices are going to increase also. You're going to be charging people more because your expenses are increasing. The fastest way for you to burn out, the fastest way for you to go out of business is for you to keep your prices the same, your expenses to rise, and then you end up, in the red all the time. So when I went to the Entourage, I talked before about going to the Entourage, and they said their advice was for you to put your prices up by 2% every 3 months. When I first heard that, I had my jaw on the floor. It's like, what now? Being a service-based business who had never put up her prices and had been in business for 6 years, I was completely shocked. However, what I have learned is that the longer that you don't charge what you're worth and the longer that you put off putting your prices up, the more resentment builds, the more frustration builds, the more you think, I'm not even being paid what I'm worth to be here and to be answering the phone or cleaning the toilets or writing the marketing strategy, whatever it is that you're doing in your business. And that's not sustainable. And that leads us to the point where we're feeling burnt out, we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling like it's all too much. So I encourage you, have a look at your expenses, run a list. If you don't know how, run it out, get your accountant to run it out of your accounting system and have a look at your expenses. Are they the same as they were last year? Are they bigger? I doubt they're going to be smaller. But then you should feel good about being able to match that percentage in terms of your prices. And if you're feeling funny about how you're going to do it, then have a think about the ways in which you can communicate that. Perhaps there are ways in which you want to make sure that people who are loyal to you, people who understand, have some kind of ease of a way into it. Just change your mind on a Sunday and then make the change on a Monday, though. You want to do that, all power to you, go for it. But it's really, really important that you do make that change for you. You do make that change for your business. Don't be worried about upsetting people, because at the end of the day, they'll be more upset if your business doesn't exist because you've run yourself into the ground and you don't want to run it anymore. So sometimes it just needs to be done. And I'm going to pick on Lucy, poor Lucy. Lucy Humphreys from Lucy Humphrey Photography came to me. She was a Thrive enrollee last year. She graduated in 2022. And she was somebody who had never put up her prices. And slowly but surely, as part of the Thrive process, we worked through her budget. We worked through the amount of hours that she was spending. Of course, as a photographer, she was taking photos and she was charging for that time that she was there to take the photos. But the booking process that happens before the actual photo shoot and the editing process that happens afterwards and the presentation of those was not something she was factoring in. So as part of Thrive, we were able to work on that together and get her to a position where she was still very competitive in the market, and her prices are still very competitive, and she was comfortable with where they ended up. But she was also in a position where she was covering her costs and pricing for profit. And in order to run a successful business, that's what we have to do. So I'm really proud of Lucy. So the tangible takeaway is to revisit your prices in the next 24 hours. Just have a look at them. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying go change them. I'm not saying call your accountant and, throw out the, just throw into the mix absolutely everything and say, this is all going to change. Don't do that. Just have a look at them. Have a look at what your competitors are doing. Have a look at what you're doing. Have a look at your expenses. Just have a look. And then you can make some decisions. I encourage you to make one change. That doesn't have to necessarily be put your prices up. It doesn't have to be across the board. Perhaps it's just one thing. Perhaps you look at one product that you're selling and you think, actually, that's way too cheap. Just make one change. And then develop a policy for when this will happen regularly. So our prices at Port Macquarie Performing Arts go up by 6% every year. That sometimes covers our expenses. Sometimes our expenses go up more than that. And I'm, not in a position where I'm going to be able to cover that. But our policy says that our prices will go up by 6% and a minimum of 6%, it says, every year. And I've never been questioned on it. No one has ever asked me about it. No one has ever mentioned it. No one's ever come to me and said, why is this more expensive than it was before? It's just what it is. So don't be disheartened. Don't think that the world will come crashing down and that you'll get all the cranky emails in the world, because that's just a story you're telling yourself. Do the sums and then reward yourself. If you do put your big girl panties on and do make a big decision like that, then absolutely reward yourself. Absolutely. Because it takes a certain amount of bravery to step into that zone. All right, number 5. We're on the home stretch, everybody. Nearly there. Mindset. This is hard to talk about because it's different for everybody, but the amount of coaching clients that come to me who are definitely standing in their own way of their own growth, it far outnumbers the people who come to me with the confidence and ability to be able to change things. So mindset is such an important part of entrepreneurship. Mindset is such an important part of business growth, and mindset is something that you absolutely have to get right if you don't want to end up burnt out. If you don't want to end up in a position where you just don't think you can go on another day. So do you need to get out of your own way? Do you perhaps want to grow your business, but there's a voice in the back of your head saying, well, not yet. We'll do some growth and we'll do some PD and we'll do some other things when we get to this point, or when we've done this, or when are you waiting for a when? And is that actually real, or is that just a story you're telling yourself? Do you perhaps have things that are going on in your mind that are just stories that you're telling yourself, that things that are not actually real? And if you do, what are those things? What are those fears? What are those things that those stories that you're telling yourself that are wandering around your mind? And perhaps it's a fear of, if I invest in growing my business, if I decide to step out of my comfort zone and outsource and delegate, if I bring on a new team member, for example, then somebody will be in my business and they'll see what a hot mess I am. And then that'll be embarrassing. And then, oh, well, I can't possibly have that. That's just a story you're telling yourself. Yeah, because chances are if you're running a successful business, then you already have it together. And here's the secret. We're all just doing the very best we can with the resources that are in front of us. None of us know exactly what we're doing. None of us are experts, but we're all doing our very best and learning from the mistakes that we're making. So that fear that you have that you're going to get caught out, especially for those of us who didn't go to university and do a business degree or didn't get an MBA, and we're worrying about what's going to happen when somebody finds that out. No one's going to care. Yeah. You're passionate about your business. You want your business to do well. That's all you need. So don't worry about bringing other people onto the business. Bring them in. Be a bit vulnerable. Share with them what's concerning you and what your biggest fear is, that they're going to go running around town telling everybody that you don't know what you're doing. Tell them, speak it out, because they'll probably say that's rubbish. That's nonsense. You've got nothing to worry about, right? What are the other fears that are holding you back? What are those things that are stopping you from really playing big when it comes to your business? Do you worry that you'll get too much work? There'll be too much work coming in and then you're not going to be able to handle it. Do you worry that there's not going to be enough work, that you're going to lean into your business and all of a sudden all of your customers are going to disappear? What are those fears for you? You can write down some notes while we're talking about it, or you can take this little element of today away for homework. But when it comes to your mindset, there's no one else that can step in and do that work for you. You are the only person that's living in your head. You need to be able to make sure your head is a nice place to live in. We can't do that for you. So really try and work on those fears and those stories before you step into that zone of wanting to grow and wanting to do big things, because you can do it. Because most of the time those fears aren't real. They're just stories. And all of you are brave enough to be able to overcome any of those stories that you're telling yourself. Once you can rationalize it, once you realize, what's true and what's false and what's made up and what's actual reality, then you do have that bravery. And most of the time that bravery is only 20 seconds. It's 20 seconds of bravery. It takes 20 seconds to add that thing to the cart and to pay your deposit. It takes 20 seconds of bravery to start that difficult conversation that you need to have with somebody. It's only 20 seconds of bravery to be able to initiate that conversation with your partner that says, hey, the business is doing this and I need your help. You've just got to have that 20 seconds of bravery and step into the zone. Because if you want big results, then you can't play small. If you want big results for your business, then you can't keep doing the same thing that you're doing. Yeah, that's the definition of madness. So what you'll notice when you start making changes is that you will find yourself in a position where you are starting to be more passionate about your business, where you're getting yourself to a position where you're learning new things, you're being challenged, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're meeting new people, and all of these things are going to be good for your business. I'd love you to jump in our free Facebook group, How to Run a Successful Business and Still Have a Life. There's the QR code there if you want to go straight there on Facebook. We have great discussions in that Facebook group about business, about running a successful business and still having a life. I'd love you to join us. But the time is now. If nothing changes in your business, then nothing is going to change. And we could have this conversation in a year's time, and you could be in the very same position that you're in now, or you could play big and you could step out of your comfort zone and you could find yourself in a completely different place when it comes to the next 6 to 12 months. And that's what Thrive is all about. And I've been talking all night about Thrive, and you're going to hear a lot about Thrive over the next little while on social media, because Thrive is my group coaching program. It only runs once a year. So if you don't jump in this year, then you're going to have to wait till next April. And people who have enrolled the year after that they first thought about it have always said to me, and Lucy Humphries is one of these people, she's always said, I wish I'd done it earlier. I wish I'd jumped in earlier, because 6 months goes by really fast, but it is a really good amount of time to be able to get a lot of stuff done in your business and to find a lot of growth and to get momentum in your business. So Thrive is all about education, accountability, and support. It's all about like-minded people coming together in order to be able to grow their businesses and also get a handle on the balance that is entrepreneurship and running a family as well. So it's a 6-month growth and accountability program for women in business. It's personalized business advice, so you can stop spinning your wheels and second guessing yourself. It's practical and insightful training every month that will help you improve in all aspects of your business. And it's ongoing accountability from me in a really small group of like-minded women who are ready to support and challenge and celebrate you. And how nice is that? Rather than just being another number, another like box on a screen, that is, if you're part of a really big program, or perhaps you enroll in courses that are, go take it as you come, and you're the only person that turns up and works through module 1 and then ticks it off and marks it as complete and works through module 2. Thrive is very different to that. Thrive is really about people learning together, growing together, looking after each other, lifting each other up and helping support each other. And what you'll learn is how to get unstuck and grow your business. You'll learn how to grow your revenue and increase your profit margin. So when I said all of us would like to be making more money in our business, if you were nodding and smiling, then this is perfect for you. You'll find out the best ways for you to find balance, the balance that works for you between growing your business and nurturing your family. And you'll learn practical strategies for increasing your business visibility so that you don't have to work so hard to get brand new customers through the door, customers that really align with you, customers that get you, customers that understand you, that really want to pay you what you're worth and don't want to cause you a whole lot of drama along the way. What you will get in Thrive is 6 online business training workshops. They're held monthly. They're on Wednesdays at lunchtime. So if you're in the office or you need to, you're thinking, when am I going to fit this in? It's 1 hour. It's in the middle of the day during your lunch hour. And it is group coaching where you're going to be learning new things that you can take away straight away and then go and implement into your business. Then at 6, Ask Me Anything group coaching and accountability sessions. They happen at night around this time. You can turn up in your pajamas. They're super cash. They're really supportive, and it's all about being able to put into practice the things that you're learning as part of the education sessions. You get individual coaching sessions with me one-on-one, so we can tailor all this stuff to your business goals, so that you can really get out of it what you want to get out of it, and you can get your business to the place that you want it to be. You can join our private WhatsApp chat with all of the other Thrive members, so that on a daily basis, you can touch base with people. You can let them know what's going on, whether you're having a good day, whether you're having a bad day, you had a win, perhaps you had a customer that throw a tantrum in the foyer, whatever's going on in your business, you're surrounded by people. You're surrounded by people who get it, who understand, and who want to support you along this journey. And you also get access to early bird pricing for the Simply Business Summit as well, which is going to be in 2024. If you join Thrive, you'll be supported, you'll be celebrated, and you'll feel empowered too. And you can secure your place today for Thrive with a deposit of $129. Come join us in Thrive. This QR code is there if you want to scan it. It's a 6-month program. It's $397 for 12 installments, and it runs from now until October. If you want to pay upfront the whole amount, then of course you're going to save some money, but you get to secure your spot with just $129. And I would love that if you would do it today. If you're watching the replay, then get in quickly, because we are closing doors on Sunday at 12 o'clock. The doors are open now. We take 10 people in Thrive every year. We already have 6 signed up. So we've got 4 spots left. There are people on the call right now. I'm looking at you. You know, I would love you to join us. We've actually got Carrie on the line, who is a Thrive alumni. Carrie, did you want to unmic and say a few words about your Thrive experience? No, you're still on mute, babe.
Thank you.
There she is.
Hi, everybody. Well, Stacey gives me a kick up the backside. Basically, that's what she does. She actually just consolidates what I know myself, and then we work through stuff. So it's been, I'm a coach, so I believe in a coach. So I can't, that's one of the things, you have to actually be experiential. You actually have to lean into it, and you get to understand how your clients are feeling when you do exactly that to them. So it's been a great experience. And I think, Stacey, I don't know if you might get the record for the quickest speaker. I just decided tonight that you're going hell for leather. So, and so one of the things that you can do with each other is actually have a sense of humour that isn't nasty, but is actually meant with love and care. And that's how I've always felt. So how did I do? All right?
Oh, beautiful. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you know, I'm putting you on the spot. We didn't discuss this prior. So thank you for jumping on. And yes, I am talking. People, you know, your time is valuable. I get that. You don't want to be on a call all night. So I got stuff to say. I'm going to absolutely get on with it.
If you thought I wasn't paying attention, I've got a roller golf ball on my foot because I've got some scar tissue from that stupid boot last year. So that's what I was doing, making sure that the ball wasn't cracking the walls. So girls, if you thought I was being disrespectful, I wasn't. I was trying to chase the golf ball. So.
Never, Carrie. I'd never think you were disrespectful. Thank you so much.
Dave. Bye.
So this is Luce.
Hi, I'm Lucy of Lucy Humphreys Photography, and I am a Thrive graduate from 2022. I wanted to quickly tell you why you should be joining Thrive this year. So if you are anything like me, you've probably been wondering whether or not it's worth it, whether or not your business is ready, whether you're ready. And I did all of those things and more. I sat on the fence for probably about 12 months, to be honest. So I should have done Thrive in 2021. I thought that my business wasn't ready, that I wasn't ready. I remember having a conversation with Stacey and asking if she thought that she would be able to work with me, because it's quite a scary thing to think about when you've got no idea about any business coaching or anything like that, that you've never done anything like that before, which I hadn't. It was all brand new to me. So Thrive is a super safe, lovely group of fellow business women who all want to see each other succeed, and you learn so much, not only from Stacey but from the other members in Thrive. I'm still really good friends with fellow Thrivers from 2022, and we catch up regularly. So we learn from each other. Oh, we learn from Stace. We learn a really lovely pace as well. It's not overwhelming. It's not full on. You don't have to invest hours and hours and hours worth of your time. It's really it's broken down into really beautiful segments. I absolutely loved it. If you're hesitant, go for it. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Luce. Beautifully said. And as a bonus, if you secure your place by Sunday, we're closing doors at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday. But if you secure your spot, and there's only those couple of spots left, so do it sooner rather than later, then you'll get a bonus coaching session with me that I can do for you as part of the Thrive program. So you'll get an extra session for us to really work through your goals. And you can either do that in the beginning, or you can do it in the middle, or you can do it at the end. Sometimes I find it really valuable to touch base with people at the very end of the program to make sure that the things that we talked about in the beginning have been executed, and then to make the plan as to what happens next, because that's often really valuable as well. So you can sign up for Thrive now by scanning the QR code there. There's plenty of information, but I'll hang around on the call at the end as well if anyone wants to talk to me about it. Some of us who are already on the call are already signed up, which is very exciting. I cannot wait to work with you and to have you with us. But I really, really do hope that you make Thrive a priority for you in order to make sure that you get yourself and your business to a position where you are not going to feel burnt out, where you're going to feel energized and jazzed about the great things that you're putting out into the world. And I'd love to walk alongside with you as you go through that journey. Thrive is really different to other online programs. As I said, it's not the kind of thing that you kind of just log on when you like in your own time and work through it alone. It's really like I'm walking alongside of you. And over the 6 months period, you get 15 hours with me, 15 hours of coaching. So if you just think about it in terms of that, the value, you'd pay so much more if it was just us doing individual sessions, but also those 15 hours, what could you achieve in your business with 15 hours of guidance, 15 hours of help, 15 hours of really nutting things out, making plans, and then executing those plans? Like, that's a really good chunk of time in order for you to achieve big things in your business. So I hope you can join me for Thrive 2023. All righty, over to you guys. Any questions? Because it's been a lot. There's been a lot covered tonight. I've given you it all, thrown it at you. What are we thinking? Hello, Miss Charlotte. Have you got any questions? Oh, she's disappearing. Beautiful. Anything that's on your mind? Anything that doesn't seem achievable? Did I say anything that you're like, that's garbage, I'm never doing that, that sounds impossible? I'd love to know. Challenge me. Can give you the reason. Shez, go for it.
Outsourcing saved my life.
Oh,
so
great.
I've now got a nanny 3 days a week instead of childcare. It's almost just as cost effective. I've got a cleaner. All these things just absolutely changed my life. And it wasn't just for me as a woman and a mum and a wife. It's just changed like everything for business and my time and how I felt about even walking through the door, knowing that the cleaner's been here and you don't have to do that. You can sit down at your clean desk. You can keep going with your day. It's a feeling. It's good for your soul as a businesswoman. It's amazing. So thumbs up to outsourcing, definitely.
So you're not challenging me. You're just agreeing with me. I love it.
What DoorDash with the coals, fantastic, especially for school. If you're on a Sunday afternoon or a Monday and you're sending the kids to school, DoorDash those things until you can get to the shops. Like, yeah, definitely.
Love it. Any other questions? Danielle, you looked like you were about to go and then I didn't give you the opportunity.
No, I was logging on to pay, but my
Oh, great.
card
Okay.
expires
Oh,
now.
don't let me interrupt you.
So I'm like 0323, and it's not going to accept it. So hopefully my new card is somewhere in the house. That, you know, when you get that mail and you think, I'll open that later.
Oh, I do know that feeling.
But it might have my new card in it, so I better go find it.
Okay, go find it, and then, you know, the race is on, because if that place is taken, then we're one down, ladies. So do not wait.
Okay. Yeah. But no, thank you. It's been really informative, and I resonate. Everything that you say is what I need. Do you know what I mean? Because when you start in business, I know how to do the job. I just didn't know all the other fundamentals of everything that comes with it. And it gets so overwhelming. And I feel like I'm just a hamster still on this wheel. And yeah.
That's what we want to avoid. Yeah. That hamster on the wheel feeling. And I talk about it like a roller coaster, because, you know, when you go to a theme park and they strap you into the roller coaster and they pull the thing over you, and then you're like, I could get off now. Like, I might just, but then they come past you and they lock it in, and then you're like, that's it. I can't, like, I'm not going to be the person that then says, please let me off. The roller coaster is moving. And sometimes business feels like that, right? You're in that moment where you're locked in and the track, like, it's going, you're on the track, but you're like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get through it? And just, you know, like a roller coaster, there are ups and downs. Some bits are good, some bits are terrifying, but you're okay at the end. So if you've got that hamster wheel feeling, that roller coaster feeling, then come join us in Thrive. We'll even you out. So it's a nice like river cruise rather than a terrifying Tower of Terror.
That sounds more like, I want to get on that river cruise.
Yeah, love.
All right, I better go find my card.
Please do.
Update it.
Please do.
I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
as always, stay in touch. If there's anything that comes up, if you go to bed tonight thinking about the things we've been talking about, you wake up in the morning and you think, I don't know how I'm going to execute that. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. Then please stay in touch. And if you want to talk about Thrive, if you're thinking that this could be your year and this could be something valuable for you and you want to have a chat, whether you're here live or whether you're watching the replay at home, please reach out. As I said, doors close midday on Sunday. Don't leave it till the last minute, because our places are limited and I don't want you to miss out if you believe that this is your year, which of course, if you're having those feelings, then it is. You've just got to have that 20 seconds of bravery. So it's really important that you know that I'm here. Please reach out. And let's chat. Thank you so much for joining me tonight live. Thank you very much for watching the replay. And I will hang around if anyone wants to have a chat, but I'll stop the recording and have a great day. Have a great night.